still trying to shake out the cobwebs. Here comes the rush again. Flags fly. Bridgewater's dropped. Sacked at the 12-yard line. Back-to-back plays. The pass rush gets home. This time it's Michael Brockers.
I love how excited the sideline is and when they see Michael Brockers make a play because he's done the dirty work for the last 2 years. I mean, taking on double teams, doing all this stuff. And so finally he gets the opportunity to get one-on-one. Here comes Brockers with a great sack.
Well, hello and welcome to Rams Revealed. My name is JB Long, and in anticipation of Monday Night Football and a Week 12 contest against the Baltimore Ravens, we're joined by a Rams defensive lineman in his 8th NFL season. He was the first pick of Les Snead's tenure as general manager, 14th overall in 2012, and now here in 2019, he's on pace for a career high in tackles. Michael Brockers is our guest. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. How are you?
Appreciate it, JB. Thanks for having me.
This defense is on quite a roll. I think you would agree. The ones have given up only 30 points combined over the past 4 games. What's your evaluation of how the defense is currently playing?
Just gelling really nicely. With the addition of Jalen being on the corner, having him lock up one side of the field and having everybody else kind of maintain the other wide receivers, defensive line. We're hitting blocks up front. Making sure we stop the run, so we can get them in a passing situation. So I think everybody's just doing their job on the defensive side of the ball.
LA scored more points than any NFL team the last 2 seasons, but do you feel like with the Bears game plan, the Rams embraced a defensive identity for 2019?
I think so. And I think we had to, just given the situations we were dealt, throughout the game. We had a couple of turnovers early. But I told, the offense before the game, man, we got y'all back. We know a couple of, our guys are out and, we're missing them, but we gotta step up. We gotta help each other out just to get this victory.
Before we continue on the defense, real quick, some perspective on the offensive line. And you practice against them. I know you're not going full speed like you would in a training camp situation, but
Right.
Did you know that retooled group would be capable of what they did?
Well, it's funny you say that because, I practiced some of the guys, were on practice squad and, we practice, they practice against us throughout the week. But, I always call them, I always say, man, y'all tempo violating or, y'all going too hard, but understanding that those guys, they want their opportunity, and once their opportunity is given to them, they're going to take advantage.
So you sense their hunger in recent
definitely
weeks.
sense their hunger. Definitely sense, and there's some more guys behind them that are hungry, ready to get on that field. You can just tell by the way they play, and I think Chrome does a great job at, coaching those guys up to really never lose a rep, because even in practice, they don't want to give up a rep in practice or in the team drills.
Michael, how about your own performance? And I mean this in the context of over the last few seasons, you've been asked to do just about everything there is to do on a defensive front. How do you feel about your current role and how you've executed it this season?
I think I'm doing all right, but I was crazy. I was talking to Clay, and we had the same mindset. He was like, "Man, if I don't make a splash play, bro, I feel like I've had the worst game." And I feel like I'm the same way. If I don't have a sack or a tackle for loss or just something that just makes the crowd go crazy, I feel like I've had a bad game. But my coaches and my teammates just surrounding me, giving me the support that I've been doing my job, been doing everything I'm supposed to do, and a little bit more. So I'm just helping out the defense.
You played alongside Aaron Donald for 6 seasons now, and I had a laugh when the Rams put out their latest viral clip of him doing a drill at what looks like 1.5 speed.
Right.
And your tweet comment was, he really started the drill the wrong way. You can delve into what you meant by that if you want, but my question for you is, do you ever wonder, in terms of those splash plays you're talking about, what if one of the greatest of all time wasn't playing next to you week after week?
Right, true. It's crazy. It's crazy to think like that if he wasn't, but the fact that he is, and even going through film and tape, understanding that, okay, on this play, I got AD next to me. That ain't gonna work. Just going through your mind, you can think like that, oh man, that ain't gonna work because AD gonna shut that down. It's a different mindset you have to have when you have such a special player next to you.
Well, we talked about what the defense has done over the last 4 games, and you look ahead to what's next, and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, they might have the MVP. It was striking to me that Mike Vick was in attendance for your Sunday Night Football win over the Bears. Did you see him along the sideline?
I did see him. I'm like, what is he gonna do? What is he doing in here?
Right.
Next week he'll try to be in Baltimore.
That's the thing, right? And you saw him at the tail end of your career. I think he was backing up Big Ben in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Remember that 2015 game?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, He once ran for over 1,000 yards, the only 1,000-yard rushing season for a quarterback in NFL history. That was 2006. Now Jackson's on course to smash that. He's looking at 1,260 at his current rate. What's the challenge going ahead to Monday Night Football?
Like we always say, man, stopping the run, and it's crazy for this team. You're gonna have to stop the running back and the quarterback because it's combined. So understanding, getting them behind the sticks, I think that's a cliche statement, but it's true. If you get a team off rhythm where they're 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, and they have to get back on track, it's hard for teams to do that. So stopping the run up front, anything that they give us on the early downs, stop it up front and keep them behind the sticks.
Monday Night Football will also mark the return of Marcus Peters. Your former teammate was traded before the deadline, not for Jalen Ramsey, of course, but in effect.
For sure.
What's your perspective on how this secondary has been shuffled midseason?
Our secondary, that's what you're talking about.
Correct.
I mean, guys have stepped up. Troy Hill, who's a player I've always respected. Just when Akeem Talib went out, he stepped up, played some really good ball. I always kind of knew he would be straight, but having, like I said before, having Jalen on the other side, and just having a lot of young, hungry, what we call them, young bulls on that team, ready to get after it. T-Rap is a heck of a player. He does a great job, especially being in the box, being a rookie safety, a little smaller safety. He plays nickel as well. I commend him. I got a lot of respect for our young guys. They step up and they're ready to play.
You mentioned Ramsey earlier, and though he plays over your shoulder, right, you have your back to him for most of your professional lifetime. Are you able to draw kind of a straight line between the uptick in sacks and rushing the quarterback and his presence?
A little bit. Our play calling's a little bit different. Early on we're a little bit more zone friendly. We're kind of making sure everything is in front of us, and having a guy who can stick with anybody in the league. You can play more stickier coverages, more single high man coverages when you have a guy like that on your team.
Can you do that against the Ravens, though? Because even teams that love to play that style, and I'm thinking of the New England Patriots first and foremost, have had to come out of that and play more zone because of the threat that the quarterback presents.
And it's a little bit of everything, playing that college style offense. I don't really know, besides the young kid, the rookie Brown, I don't know any of the receivers that they have. I see a lot of their tight ends getting open, seam routes by their tight ends, a little outright by their tight end, and then running the ball. I think it starts with running the ball with them.
Last year, Monday Night Football against the Chiefs was a completely unique set of circumstances, and many of them were tragic. And so I don't think there's a parallel necessarily to last year, but I do want you to reflect on your memories of that moment in time in your life, your professional football career, and what it was to get that win at the Coliseum against the Chiefs.
It was so much going on that week. We already started out with being in fire season. That year, it was a little closer than usual. Then we have the shooting, so we're dealing with that. We're kind of trying to mourn with that, and we're trying to practice. We can't practice because of the smog. We're moving places, and it really, we had to kind of calm down and take it back to kind of what we do on away games. We kind of focus on each other. We knew it was a home game, but we felt like it was a away game just with all the movement and stuff. We were supposed to be in Mexico. We ended up coming back from Mexico, coming back from Colorado, and coming back here. So it was just a lot. We just had to kind of settle down. It was a lot going on. Settle down, focus really on ourselves. We had a good team coming in here, focus on the game plan and just execute as much as possible. And then just going to the game, it was crazy. For me, it wasn't even. I couldn't even focus on how intense the game was because I was thinking about, dang, they have 50 points. They put 50 points on our head. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. I'm like, how do we stop them? How do we get better? I'm going to the sideline every time, like looking at the, play call, like, hey, what do we got to do to, get better? And then, you kind of peek up at the scoreboard. They yell, and then, we're like, okay, offense score, we got to stop them. Then they score. You're like, oh my gosh, like it's something has to, something has to stop. We have to get a break, here later. So, then we get some touchdowns, and we're like, okay, we're up. We got defensive touchdown. Usually that seals the game. They get a defensive touchdown. You're like, oh man, we back in it. Like, not again. So it's tied up. It was a lot going on, but after the game, just, talking to my grandmother, and, she was even talking about how some of her friends watched the game. And I'm like, your friends watch football? She's like, yes, honey, they watched football. They enjoyed the game. They loved it. And just, hearing that from her and just understanding, like, man, this game hit deeper than, what it usually does. A lot of people who usually don't watch football is watching this game or watch the game. So, that really just it drove it home for me, just understanding that football is a America sport, man, and they can't deny it at all, man. At the end of the day, if you look back at any tragedy or anything, the NFL supports, they take it back to football. Take it back to football.
Very well said. And I hope we never have to replicate it for all those reasons that you said. But if nothing else, would be great to see that kind of environment again to support the Rams Monday Night Football against the Ravens. And I think you would agree, Brock, it'd be a shame for this roster to miss the postseason. I mean, it feels like a group that has the potential to go deep, but we know the window is tight right now. What do you sense about your chances and how important it is to you at this stage of your career to play into January again?
You don't want to be playing for anything. You don't want to be not playing for anything. You don't want to not be playing for anything. You want to go to the playoffs. You want to have something to strive for, because I've been in those seasons where you kind of know you're out mathematically.
Playing for pride seasons in December.
For pride season. That's not fun. It's not fun. Even though you have to do it and you play the game because you love it, it's not fun. But, you try not to focus on it. As far as right now, we're 6-4. I don't know where we are in the standings. I'm not focused on it. I think it's a week-by-week basis. And we just got to win out. I think that has to be our focus. We kind of dug ourselves in a little hole, so we just have to, in my opinion, just have to win out.
I apologize in advance for the direction I'm about to take this, but it is a contract year for you, and this is a business.
Sure.
You're having a top 20 Pro Football Focus graded season, and we're happy for you and all that you've done in 2019. What does your ideal offseason look like?
I don't know. Hopefully, working out and get a surprise call from the Rams, and they want me back. But for the most part, just, focusing on this year. I try not to focus on the contracts. I let the agents and the people who do the contracts worry about that, man. I just worry about the game.
But what else do you want to accomplish in this game of football?
I definitely want to win a Super Bowl. Definitely want to go to Super Bowl and win it. My drive is different. Last year it was good to be there, kind of happy to be there, almost in a sense. And I just seen the different the mindset as a Patriots, because we were kind of happy and they were like business. Now I'm all business. You know what I'm saying? I know what it takes to get there and be in that game and not let all the all that the outward stuff kind of get to you, and just actually focus on that. But it's still a game, because with all the distractions on Super Bowl week, it can kind of get to you. But definitely a mission, going forward.
In pursuit of that goal, how much longer are you willing to play? How much longer would you like to play?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Me and wife, you've talked about it. She's like, let's see a 10 and then we'll talk, So 10? I just told her, I told her we came to this agreement, like, let's get to 10, get to double digits. That'll be a great milestone. And let's talk about it. Let's see, where we're at, financially. How do we feel, about moving forward. The kids are in school. Just think about it. When it happens, not right now.
Because you have expensive taste, and I mean that in the most complimentary way.
Yeah, you can say that.
What about the family life? Can I tap into your parenting expertise for just a moment, since you brought it up? Father of three, right?
Father of three.
With a infant.
6 months. 6 months, yeah.
Okay, so I'm about to have my second. How does life change when you go from one child to multiple children?
It's the two. It's okay, because it's like wife has one, you have one. When you get to 3 and you're outnumbered, that's when it's like, what is going on? Like, one kid is here, the other kid is, over here. One is crying, and then you got the other one running around, so you have to keep your eye on that one. It's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. But if you manage it well, we have help. My wife has a nanny and stuff like that. I'm in the house here and there. So she has help, but it definitely is a lot.
Have you always wanted a big family? Are there more to come?
For me, I came from quite a big family. I was the oldest of 5. My mom raised all 5 of us. So for me, I was kind of like, I'm kind of over the kids thing, because I kind of raised my brothers, So, but talking to my wife, she was like, no, I want kids. And I'm like, okay, come on, let's do it. Let's have this little family. But love my kids, love my family. It's just, a beautiful experience.
How do you balance the personal and the professional? Because there are a lot of demands on your time from the summer all the way through whenever this season ends.
Whatever I'm comfortable with, if I'm comfortable with doing something, I'll do it. If I'm not, I'll definitely voice it and choose to do it or not do it.
In terms of like people asking you to do a podcast on a Monday afternoon before you go home for your day off.
For sure. So whatever I'm comfortable with, I do, and whatever I'm not, I won't do.
I'm glad you mentioned kind of raising your younger siblings because, well, a couple of things I've always appreciated about watching you go about your craft. First of all, you're like the ultimate tactician, whether it's before a game or at practice, like you really seem to care about the small details that translate on the field. But secondly, you're a mentor and a teacher. Like I just see that in the way that you embrace your teammates. And I think Seabass is the most recent Ram to comment on that. All the things that you've done for him on and off the field to help him feel at home with the Rams and in the NFL. Does that stem from your upbringing? Is that something that you have always been conscious of doing, is kind of reaching out to younger teammates?
I wouldn't say that. I think I had to kind of embrace his leadership role. Last year I was captain. I was kind of like, what do I do? But I caught myself always, getting in a situation where I have a young guy under my wing, trying to tell him something, give him a little tip here and there. Definitely this year with Seabass playing, being a young guy, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm playing now. Like, what do I do? So it's like, I had to, give him little tips here and there, what we can do, what we can't do, because me and him work together on our side. So playing off each other, just having that, that camaraderie, that gel that we can just play off each other and just go. He's been doing a great job.
He has been. Last thing before you get to your football weekend, we catch you at a great time in terms of the college football landscape. LSU number one in the country, set to finish with home games against Arkansas and A&M. Maybe on a collision course with Georgia in the SEC championship. Just want to give you a chance to shout out your alma mater.
Yes, sir. LSU going all the way, man. We're going all the way, going to the playoffs, and we're going to win out, man. We're looking unstoppable right now. Defense needs a little help, here and there, but they're running. They're running. Everybody's running, and on offense, they're blocking up front. They're getting the ball out, getting to the special playmakers, man. So we're doing a good job.
Had a chance to cross paths with Ed Orgeron yet, by any chance?
Not yet. I will, though.
All right. Well, your voice sounds almost as good as his on these podcast microphones.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Thank you for stopping by Rams Revealed. Have a great Week 12 Monday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens. Good luck against right now the front runner for the MVP, and have a phenomenal rest of your 2019 season.
Appreciate it, JB. Thank you, Pat.